Yeah, we here now. I see somebody got blocked. Bro, do you know how special I am to the point where I don't even have to say a word and there's people hating to the point where they get blocked before I even speak? I love my job. Do you understand how great I have to be to get that type of reaction? What they say? Ego's a hater. The press conference was trash. That don't make me a hater because the press conference was, say it with me, trash. They should have did a better press conference. It's not my fault that the presser was trash. Listen, you can like whatever you like. I like what I like. In this video, I'm going to break down why the Canelo payday Crawford presser was some trash. Multiple reasons it was trash. You could call me a hater. I don't care. My paycheck finna be fat. Yes. My paycheck is finna be fat. Okay. So I see that people want to hear Boxingego's take. So we're going to jump right into it. First, let me see who the first person was in here. Shout out to Mike Myers. He said, let's go. He was the very first person. We got to show love to that. All right. Yeah, I kept you guys waiting, so we're going to jump right into the content. Smash the like button. Trash. Trash. You hear me? On multiple levels. I feel like Captain Planet the way I'm surrounded by all this trash. Y'all told me this is the fight of the century. This ain't looking like it. I don't care what you say. Oh, the Bud Buddies, they ashy. They crying. Oh, Eagle. Trash. Somebody say when, and I'll explain why I feel it's trash. Why I was not impressed with the trash. Somebody say when. Say when and it's up. I got y'all. They want me to talk my Smash the like button. I'll explain to it. So I don't just say something and then don't elaborate. All right, Nick Way. Let's get it. For starters, Turkey hired Dana White. Dana White don't know about boxing, bro. It's just what it is. He might be a great guy and all this other stuff. UFC, cool. He don't know boxing, and that is very apparent. For one, as a promoter, if you had this fight and you thought it was something, your biggest fight in America pretty much, right? I can't think of an American fight that they had that's supposed to be on paper bigger than this, right? And the promoter, you've been working with all these De La Hoyas, I do believe, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, actual boxing promoters, and one guy is an actual boxer, Oscar De La Hoya, right? You push them to the side and enlist the services of Dana White. He don't know boxing, bro. He don't know boxing. And we'll get into what Sean Zelle said to him, which was very good stuff. But he don't know boxing. So the whole thing, just from a format, they format it like a UFC presser. We don't want that. The undercard, they had like the 2 rows. It reminded me of, remember when Conor McGregor was like, who the f is that? That might work with them UFC guys. You segregated the undercard from the main event, whatever. You sat them like in the bleacher style. That it looked like a UFC presser. The way they did the questions, it was the same thing where like they have a mic on a like a boom stand or whatever. They got a mic stand, and then the people walk up to the questions. The other thing that was trash, like my thing is this. You can't come into somebody else's world and start changing up a bunch of you know what I mean? No boxing press conference really looked like that and is set up like that. You dig? I'm a boxing head. Put me in a room with Dana White and let's see who give up first when it comes to boxing knowledge. Let's just talk about boxing in the last 20 years and let's see who falter. Let's do a decathlon. I'll cook Dana White. Cook him. I don't care how much money you make, I'll cook you. So there's that. Real boxing heads understand that, right? So you set it up like a UFC press conference. Trash, right? That's not boxing. Keep that for the UFC. You see TKO, Turkey, Dana White, Zelle, Riyadh, whatever. Slowly but surely, they're trying to turn this into the UFC. This is what it feels like. And boxing fans, it's a different market. So Dana White don't know enough. Like, name something he said on the mic that was like eventful? One thing that Dana White said. Okay, let's move on because he didn't say nothing. So that's one thing. Two, a lot of it was like long in length, pause, and a lot of the questions were like, it was about nothing. And it really gave me UFC vibes, which is not good because this ain't the UFC. People coming up to the mic, asking 4 and 5 questions, and they ain't really talking about nothing. You got to move that stuff along. Dana White said, oh, boxing is so messed up. Boxing is so flawed. They'll have one fight in a podcast. Look at your press conference. Look at your press conference. What was the difference? You had singular people asking as many questions as they wanted to. You're arguing with a reporter. You got people saying stupid stuff. This dude was like, hey, Terence Crawford, how does it feel to get hit with Mexican power? Are you ready? Well, I mean, what is he supposed to say? Like, what? It's not even really a question. Like asking Terence Crawford if he's ready to get hit with Mexican power. That just sounds like fanboyism, like goofy stuff. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, that didn't seem professional. Like, it didn't seem like no professional. Like, oh, Crawford, how are you ready, or are you prepared to get hit with Mexican power? Like, what is he supposed to say? He's fighting a Mexican guy. Deal with it. No, I'm not ready. Like, what is it? Like, my thing is this. These reporters are stupid. A lot of these reporters, they ask the same question in different ways. They ask the same stuff and it's super generic. So to me, boxing fans, we want to learn, like, it's not even worth watching. I'm watching it because it's my job, because I get paid to know what's going on. I'm going to get paid. I didn't get paid to watch the press conference, but if I would have went live, I would have got paid. And now I have to watch it so I know what to say now to tell you it was trash. So that's the only reason I watched it. If I was a civilian and I wasn't covering boxing, because it was too trash. The only reason that I continue watching it is for y'all and for the channel. Boxing, hold on, broken, dangerous. Boxing is greater than UFC. Dana White is trash. Bro, it's not going to work. I'm trying to tell y'all. Daniel Navarrete, $2. White on the hot seat was the most entertaining thing. But it wasn't. I mean, Sean pressed him. I'll get to that in a second. Right? Trash. The whole thing is trash, right? Crawford is boring. He's a great fighter to watch in the ring, but him trying to like be an MC, he can't do what I do. That's why he blocked me. Terence Crawford, you can't do this on the mic. Bro, he can't get on the mic and bless the mic like me, bro. Like, you had too many opportunities to do it. He's not promoting. Like, and here's the thing. Crawford, I could respect that he has a lot of confidence in his ability. You're supposed to as a fighter. I'm not even mad at that. But some things Crawford says is either hypocritical or it comes across to me as delusional, right? Like, I don't know if he was taking a shot at me or people like me, whatever. But there was a point in this presser where he was like, man, all my career, y'all said I ain't fought nobody. And y'all was saying stuff like, I can't sell. But look at all this. So what do they got to say now? Crawford, come on, bud, bro. First of all, you talking about look at all this. Every time they uttered your name, the fans were booing. Them is Canelo fans. What are you talking about, bro? The man was like, he was like, look at all this. What can they say now? I'm going to say the same things that I've been saying because them weren't your people. Them was Canelo fans. And they made it very clear. You still can't sell. They are here for Canelo. There were moments in this where Netflix or whoever camera showed the crowd and it was like Mexicans and they was like, woo, like doing like this and like, ooh, ooh, boo. And they were chanting Canelo, Canelo. And Bud acting like trying to take credit for it. Just like Dana White trying to take credit for it. Dana White was like, the top 3 boxing live gates, I've been a part of 2 of them. Technically, but what did you really do for Canelo Crawford, bro? I mean, not Canelo Crawford, for Mayweather McGregor. Come on, bro. The only reason you were even a part of that is because you had Mayweather under a UFC contract and he couldn't fight Mayweather without your blessing because he was contractually obligated to the UFC. You didn't do nothing. That was a Showtime promo. You was just like pretty much collecting a check. Just it's like no different than like Bob Arum still owns Teofimo, but Teofimo fought Barbosa on Turkey's card. Bob still gets a cut. He didn't put on the Fatal Fury card though. You see what I'm saying? So what are we talking about, bro? This whole thing is a disaster. This is trash. I don't care what. I was like, you know what? Maybe this fight will grow on me. It hasn't. It's trash. The whole presentation. This looked like a rich kid that got money and he's trying to buy friends. That's what this looks like. I don't care about the bells, the whistles, the backdrops, and the lights. It's trash. The way y'all going about it. The only reason Canelo's going along with this is because he's getting over $100 million. So he don't really care. So props to Canelo because he finds a way to finagle and he's done enough like groundwork where he can command that type of money. That, I mean, I wouldn't, if I was Canelo, it would be hard to turn that type of money down. Fight a welterweight and get 125, 150 million or whatever. And they think this is cool. They think this is like some boasting. Bro, this is a waste of money. The weigh-in gonna be fake as, bro, the weigh-in's gonna be so fake. It's gonna be some fake WWE. Crawford pushes him or Canelo pushes him. Mark this video down. Tomorrow night, it's gonna be boring as hell, or it's gonna be super fake where they try to amp it up and like the teams start fighting and pushing and try to make it look hella dramatic, bro. Because it ain't been cracking. On Dead Homies, it ain't been cracking down. So Dana White, he's like claiming credit for like the live game. Bro, come on, bro. What work you put in? This wouldn't be happening without Turkey. And then Mayweather McGregor was really because Mayweather McGregor. You literally in Showtime. You ain't do nothing. I was at that fight, Mayweather McGregor. Dana White wasn't doing that. He wasn't like on the mic overly. You just had Connor. Bro, If Conor wasn't signed, that same fight would have did the same numbers without Dana White. But he trying to take credit for it because he has some association with it. Stop. That's like Samuel L. Jackson taking credit for like coming to America's success. Boy, if you don't, bro, yes, Samuel L. Jackson and Cuba Gooding Jr. were in Coming to America, but you can't take credit for Coming to America because Cuba Gooding Jr.'s part was this big and Samuel L. Jackson part was this big. Bro, all Samuel L. Jackson did was come in the McDowell's with the stick on him, with the pole on him, and a beanie. And he said, "Who the is this a-hole? If you do not drop the weapon, I will be forced to thrash you. Freeze, you diseased rhinoceros pizzle." Bro, you don't get credit for that. Like, you Samuel L. Jackson, but that was like one of your starting joints, bro. You had like not 0.5 seconds of camera time. That's Eddie Murphy and John. Freeze, you diseased rhinoceros pizzle. Arsenio Hall had a bigger role. Simi. Meet me at the Waldorf Astoria. Like, you ain't James Earl Jones. You had your part was super small. That's Dana White. He's Samuel L. in Coming to America. Like, man, my movie's a hit. Bro, Eddie Murphy's movie is a hit. Floyd is Eddie Murphy in his prime. And Conor was Arsenio Hall. Or John Landis, one of the two. Dana White trying to take credit for the Samuel L. Jackson role. Who the is this a-hole? Tal, what's up? Bro, this fight trash. The promo's been trash. And here's how I know. I'm a boxing content creator. I'm not at the fight. I haven't covered no fights live since the pandemic. I haven't attempted to go to any fights. But the people who are at the fight, I'm not seeing no legendary views. Just think about it. Think about like channels, don't say no names, but there's channels that are at the fight right now. Big channels, right? Like Fight Hub, Fight Hype. Are you seeing any like viral legendary views? Like where it's cracking? I'm not seeing no crazy clips that nobody's posted. On Twitter, the views of the conference were trash. Bro, it didn't hit 20K on Netflix, on YouTube. Netflix YouTube has almost 40 million subscribers and it didn't clear 20K at no point. So you got Dana White promoting it, Turkey, Ring, all the sellout boxing media and old media like, yeah, this is the biggest ever. You got all these people doing the bidding and you can't crack 20K on Netflix's YouTube? I got screenshots. Don't take it there. We watching. You ain't sold through all them tickets. Bro, this is trash, man. I'm so sincere. Yeah, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you keep playing the game and like, oh my gosh, it's the biggest fight of the century and legendary and once in a lifetime. You can say all of that. But another reason why I don't like, for me, I'm telling you, me, because I'm a content creator. Behind the scenes, I work on products to showcase to the audience that you are the ultimate people to write it off and like, approve it. I have videos that I thought would be good, and then I release it. It don't do the numbers that I thought it would do. Then I have videos where I didn't even really try, and they did pretty good or did viral numbers. You know what I mean? So you guys, the public's always going to determine what's hot, what's not. It don't matter what you say is hot. We tell you what's hot. The microphones have been trash for all press week. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing is trash. The whole thing. They had a desk with Kriegel. Bro, we don't care what he talking about either. Mark Kriegel, the whole desk commentary was horrible. Like nobody's talking about nothing. Like I haven't heard like Canelo Golovkin. I covered that fight, the first one, right? I covered it. There were compelling like dialogues like, oh, has Canelo faced a puncher like Golovkin? He has a good job. There was like a good dialogue. This just seems like man fans versus man fans. Nobody's like really breaking it down or enlightening us. There's nothing, we're not learning nothing new. You know what I mean? This is pretty bad. This is like, I told you it's gonna be bad, but it's like worse than I thought. So anyway, they got it set up like UFC. This ain't UFC. You should have scrapped that. Canelo and Bud. Canelo, I'll give it to him. He had a couple funny moments. Light. It was light though. Like when he was like fight, fight, fight. That was pretty funny. Canelo in English, he was saying a couple things. I don't remember everything he said, but there were Canelo had a couple funny moments. Canelo, to be honest, Canelo was like the only one that seemingly had a personality. I will give him that. Do you see what I'm saying? Canelo had a bit of charisma and personality, and he had all the fans. And he had all the fans. Dana White wasn't talking about nothing. Turkey wasn't really talking about nothing. And Team Crawford, they weren't talking. What did Bomac say? They asked him a question, and he was like, man, oh, we the better fighter. It's boring. It's like literally boring. It's like you're not talking about nothing. But and see, to be honest, Crawford's team, they're acting a little bit different than we've seen them in other pressers, like confidence wise. Book it. And now I'm not saying this or that. I'm just telling you, their energy seems a bit different. Bomac, I've seen him where he be cussing and yelling. He like barely even talked. Terence Crawford seemed a bit more timid. He was stumbling on his words a little bit more, right? I don't know what he was saying, but there are like little moments where he was a little bit, man, it's like where I'm from in Omaha, we have BTA, belt to air, and I'm the buckle. But he didn't get the line off smooth. You see what I'm saying? So he seemed a little bit jittery a little bit. I don't know if it's the pro Canelo crowd, but that BTA like sequence or phrase, he didn't really get it off like that. Like Floyd Mayweather, when it came to trash talk, he would get the line off and then everybody would be like, ah, ha, ha. You know what I'm saying? He seemed Bud seemed confident in the ring. He seemed like a wallflower on the mic sometimes. So just a little bit stuttery, stammering, didn't really say anything. And then the highlight, shout out to boxing reporter Sean Zelle, who I know personally. Sean Zelle, listen, I thought I was the only person in boxing with some nuts. But I got to give the honorary nuts to Sean Zelle. He got some nuts too. And I'm not even going to say pause. This man went against the status quo and got on the mic, risked his credentials or whatever, because you know how they be playing. I heard that boxing scene got denied credentials for another Turkey event. Sean Zelle, give him some props. America, when it comes to boxing, we just do it better, bro. Sean Zattel's an American. I'm American. America's just doing it better, bro. So that was a W for Sean because he spoke what's on everybody's mind. And I'm not there. Other people aren't there. He was there, and he took his opportunity not to ask a stupid question to Canelo or Crawford that we've heard 1,000 times. Like, oh, what are you going to do? Is this your toughest fight? Bro, these generic questions in boxing hurt the sport of boxing because it's corny. How you going to ask Crawford if it's his toughest fight if he ain't fought the muff? How you gonna ask Canelo if this is his toughest fight if he ain't been in there with Crawford? You see, these are just blanket generic questions that, like, when go check my track history when I've asked questions at these events. I try to think of a question where the answer is not readily known. I try to ask questions where they can't just have a one-word response. These people say stupid stuff on the podium, on the mic, and it's like it makes the press conference dry because it's like, Crawford, you ready for Mexican power? And he's like, yeah, let's go. I mean, what can he say? Like, what is he supposed to say to that? Yo, Mexican power? What do you mean? Like, it's not something that can be like an extenuated dialogue. It's just like a stupid comment, really. It's not even really a question. Are you ready for Mexican power? Like, what are you talking about, bro? So, shout out to Sean Zelle. He was the only one with some nuts there. Everybody else was glazing for the most part or asking stupid stuff. Sean Zelle was the only one with some nuts. So he joins the ego with the people in boxing with some nuts that are willing to go against what everyone else is doing and saying to be real for boxing. And I can respect that. I don't respect a lot of people in boxing. This is why. This is why, because one person out of 50 is willing to ask a question. Now, for Dana to be new to my sport of boxing, he handled it pretty bad, in my opinion, because you're new to this sport. You have absolutely no faith. Faith is earned. It's not given. We don't have no faith in you until you've showed that you're good for boxing. We barely even know Turkey, let alone you. You look like a hitchhiker, so we really don't trust you, cuz. Bro, listen. Dana White is a hitchhiker. We don't know nothing about you. All we know is you going up north and you was on the side of the road. We don't know you in boxing. And Max Kellerman is one of the biggest glazers. They should have left him wherever he was. He fell off crazy. Bro, I'm telling you everything you need to hear. Max Kellerman fell off crazy. He was like, Dana White is the best promoter in combat sports history. Bro, Dana White ain't done where he was the lead promoter, no top events in boxing or that top boxing. He ain't had nothing to do with Mayweather Pacquiao. That's the number one. How he the lead? How he the biggest event thrower? And them UFC events don't add up to what boxing has done. Shout out to Canelo Alvarez. And see, this is the thing. People say, oh, Boxingego hate. I don't hate. I have no reason to hate on anybody. I get mine, they get theirs. We all living. You know what I mean? But shout out to Nello. Y'all said I hated Nello, but then when I say something good about Nello, y'all say I love him, and then you say I hate Crawford. I don't care. I'll let y'all decide that. But shout out to Muff Nello, because when Max Kellerman was saying that bullshit about UFC, he said this is why boxing is pretty much is dead, or boxing is dying and not as popular as it once was, and the UFC is pretty much doing good. Bro, get Max Kellerman out this month in sport, bro. Max is not better than me, bro. He's not better than, because the fact that you sound like a spy, that's COINTELPRO. You sound like a op, bro. You sound like a double agent. Let's be real. Now, I don't care. I don't have nothing against no other sport. I'll cover UFC. I don't have no problem with UFC. Them guys train, they work. You know what I mean? But UFC had been in a month in slump. Where have you been? UFC has been in a slump. Their biggest stars, Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, don't compete anymore. One of their legends, Dustin Poirier, just retired after a long career. Other legends like Max Holloway, he just got knocked out brutally. Justin Gaethje got knocked out before that by Max Holloway, right? John Jones halfway said he was retired after Stipe, and he retired Stipe, another long legend. Francis Ngannou left the UFC. So Izzy keep losing. Sean Strickland is suspended for hopping in the cage and punching somebody up. The old boy Drakus or whatever, the South African, he just lost horribly and got sat on all around. What are you talking about? The UFC is big and boxing is losing its way or whatever you talking about. Bro, UFC is trash right now. Let's be real. UFC straight, they don't got the Diaz brothers, like dynamic people like that. Mike Perry's in the bare knuckle. Luke Rockhold went over to Misfits and got beat up and knocked out. Darren Till no longer in the UFC. He in boxing now. What is Max Kellerman talking about, bro? Talking about boxing is not popular to the UFC. So shout out to Muff Canelo, because Canelo was like, Max, don't do that. Don't say that, Max. He pretty much said, you lying. Don't do it. And then this is how weak these people are in boxing, bro. They are invertebrates. They have no spine. Because as soon as Canelo checked him, Max Kellerman, he didn't even add on. Bro, if I believe in something, I don't give a if it's Mike Tyson, I don't care if it's Canelo Alvarez. You're not just knocking me off of my pivot when I really believe in something. I don't care who you are. So that's what shows you how fake and like snaky people are for the check. Because as soon as Canelo said, don't do that, Max shut up about it. I'm not like, bro, if I believed in something and Canelo's like, oh, you're wrong, I'll be like, no, I don't think I'm wrong. I'm gonna keep rocking. Like, why would I change my opinion for this redhead? I'm not doing that if I really believe in it. Max Kellerman started that. He started glazing Dana White, talking about he the best combat in UFC. He's done wonders. Bro, meanwhile, Dana White that you're glazing and praising, Sean Zelle put him in the hot seat, like Boxingego. He put him in the proverbial hot seat, and Dana White had no answer. He couldn't think on the spot. He said, hey, set up an interview with me. Bro, the cameras is rolling. We want to hear it now. Why you got to set up an interview? He trying to interview you right now. Bro, that's how when people deflect like that, you know they don't want no smoke. There's nothing but space and opportunity in Netflix camera. Sean Zelle was a shoot, and he pulled up like Steph Curry and dumped. He dumped his questions, and Dana White deflected. That's what happened. Oh, you're an a-hole. He called Sean an a-hole. Why is he an a-hole? Because he's trying to protect the integrity of boxing and the Ali Reform Act that is existed well before you brought your ass up in boxing. And he has, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. You sending ops into my sport. We gotta, bro, we about to revolt out this mug. Sean Zelle, whether you like his opinions or not, he represents us. He done put in more work for boxing and been in these boxing gyms. I've watched sparrings with Sean Zelle, right? Where we're watching boxing. I ain't never seen Dana White at none of the events I was at, except for Conor McGregor and Mayweather. Damn, you've been on for 45 minutes and got 0 super chats. That's insanity. Block him. Bro, block him. We got an anonymous pocket watcher, bro. My paycheck's finna be fat. I don't give about no super chat. Right now, y'all know I'm cooking, and this man is pocket watching talking about, oh, you didn't get no super chats. I guarantee you my paycheck finna be bigger than yours. That's what I do know, especially after Saturday, the fight I don't even like. So shout out to Prince Savage. Get him out of here, bro. There's a super chat on the screen. Bro, I get cash apps. I don't even know if anybody sent a cash app. I'm so busy cooking, I ain't even looking at my phone. So please do not interrupt me with no bull. When I'm in this mode, anybody can get it, bro. Because we're talking about something real. This ain't I ain't slow down. I ain't made no jokes like that. I'm straight talking boxing. You pocket watching. So whatever, don't interrupt me with no bullshit. If you want to talk boxing, this is a spot. Don't interrupt me with no stupid stuff. I just donated because he hating. That's all they do, bro. Shout out to Ryan R. He sent $5 in the Cash App. Yeah, if anybody else sent the Cash App, I'm sorry. I'm just cooking, so let me cook. Anyway, where was I? So the reality is, Sean Zelle put in more mileage for boxing than Dana White. You an outsider, bro. You one of the outsiders, and then you didn't want to answer the question. That reflects negatively. And it looks bad for Turkey, too. This is who you brought. You'd be like, oh, my brother Dana White. And you brought him into the fold, and he can't even answer the question. What that look like to boxing fans? If you have a new muff and in there being like evasive, is somebody's asking them a direct question. Sean wasn't unprofessional. He didn't say, hey you mother effer, Phil Florin and Phil. He didn't do none of that. He had waited his turn. Obviously, he raised his hand. The mic was in front of him. So the ushers or whatever put the mic in front of him. He didn't snatch the mic out of somebody's hand like Kanye West to say, Beyonce had the best music video of all time. I'm sorry, Taylor Swift. He didn't do that. He had a professional approach, a professional real question that boxing fans want to know an answer to, and probably boxers, because it's their faith. And you said, book an interview with me. Book an interview with me, you a-hole. That was bad. That looked bad. I mean, it's entertaining, I guess, for y'all, but that looks bad because you and Turkey was like looking mad, like he didn't want, like, why is this going on? And then, like, I don't want to put this out there, but I'm telling you how the game is. The people that are outspoken and speak the real, they try to stifle you by like, oh, now you won't get a credential. Bro, ain't nobody using a credential against Boxingego. If I can't be myself and be real and do my job in a real fashion, I don't need your credential. Put it that way. I'll be right here doing the Boxingego watch party. So shout out to Sean Zelle for, I guess, risking it, because you never know how these motherfuckers going to act when you put them on the spot and they feel crunchy. Yeah, bro. And then Dana White in the UFC, the fighters used to get them like individual sponsors, and then they did away with that. Now these dudes be getting cauliflower ear with no sponsorships outside of what the UFC deems is like Monster or Reebok or whoever. You know what I mean? But the fighters used to be able to get like pretty much individual sponsorships and brand deals. And they are like, no. Imagine that with boxing. Like Lamont Roach fought Tank and he just got a sponsorship with Purple. Imagine if boxing took that's extra income for the fighters. You see what I'm saying? Bro, they're trying to turn boxing into something that it shouldn't be. They're trying to make boxing like a sweatshop. And my thing is this is why it looks bad. If you weren't trying to do this, you have nothing to hide. Why not just answer the question? And the fact that you look frazzled when Zelle asked you that makes it look bad too. If you knew you're doing right and somebody asked you something, it should be like if Sean asked you a question where he was kissing your butt, you think he would get like call Sean an a-hole? Like if he was like, wow, Dana White, you're amazing. Oh, this is a top 3 live gate, and he was glazing you, you wouldn't have called him an a-hole. I feel like most of Turkey's fights have been flops because it's fake. Majority of them, the way they're going about it, they're trying to tell and then sell. No, no, no. You don't tell us what to buy. We the customers. In fact, no one even asked for Canelo and Crawford. I know I didn't. I've been screaming Crawford versus Fundora, Boots, Virgil Ortiz, Murtazaev, Jermell Charlo, Tim Tszyu. Not he keep losing, so not now, but back a couple fights ago when he was winning. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman would have been a good fight for Crawford. But instead, you want to hook Crawford up with a Canelo fight. So the press conference was booty. It was straight up trash. I can't imagine you would be happy with that. There are just moments in it where it's like kind of cringe as well. You know, some of the moments were like cringe or they like went on too long. Crawford, he didn't really seem himself. He didn't really, like, he wasn't doing nothing. There was a moment, very subtle. Nobody else is going to talk about this other than Boxingego. There was a subtle moment. He said it was cringe AF. I turned that ish off. Man, I was about to go into Starbucks, but I was like watching it in the whip, and I was like, man, I want to just stop watching this. But I stuck through it because of y'all. You know what I mean? But there was a moment where Canelo punked Crawford, but it wasn't in the traditional sense, like, you know what I mean, punked him like that. It was very subtle, but he did it. If you want me to reveal, type Nello in the comment section. See, I tell you the observations that other people are too scared to tell you. You know what I mean? People want to go with the status quo and whatever is popular. I don't care if it's popular, if it's unpopular. I'm going to tell you what I saw. So if you want me to reveal how Canelo secretly punked Terence Crawford at the final press conference, type the word Nello. And y'all got to get the likes up. Listen, likes or loot. I'm up here putting out fresh content for you guys. You will appreciate my time. The moment you guys do not appreciate my time, then it stops. I put out a first look for you going over Crawford's last 5 fights. If you watch that, give me feedback in that video. Let me know. A lot of you guys seem to like it. Bro, I'm not doing this for my health. I don't do nothing pro bono. Y'all better come in. Y'all want to leave the comments but don't want to hit the like button. We're not doing that, bro. I got mad stuff. I got a personal life. I got mad stuff I'm working on behind the scenes. Y'all better stop playing with me, bro. They treat me like the king. You know there's nobody better than me in this stupid sport. Best in the business, and it's not even close. Okay, so this is how Canelo punked Crawford. I'm going to explain it. Y'all. Chill out. Because they said, let's face off the fighters. Why? Hold on. They said, let's face off the fighters. Canelo punked him. I don't care who mad. Canelo punked him. I'm going to explain why Canelo punked Bud. Because they said, let's face off the fighters. This dude talking about, come on, man. I ain't even said it. That's how I know I got boxing in the vice grip. I got dudes so emotional. I haven't even made the point and they already are reacting just because of what I said. People like that, you don't want to hear the truth because I haven't even spoke it and you've already made your mind up. Come on, man. I didn't even say nothing. All I said is they faced off the fighters and this dude, come on, man. Bro, the Bud Buddies, y'all pathetic. Straight pathetic, bro. I'm offering you a perspective that was absolutely true, and these dudes is all emotional and won't refuse to use lotion when they come to my chat. So anyway, this is why Canelo secretly punked Bud Crawford. They said, let's face off the fighters. It took a minute. I don't know why. because they was both on the stage, but it took a minute. Then they walked up. Bud Crawford started mad dogging. That's hood slang for like grilling and like mean mugging, right? He was mad dogging Canelo. Like he was doing his eyes. Remember Keith Thurman does this a lot, where Keith Thurman opened his eyes all crazy and like be looking at you and doing all that. That's what Bud was doing. He was trying to grill him, like look through his soul or put the psycho eyes. I don't know what else you want me to call it. He was trying to put the psycho eyes. Look, you see? So Bud was grilling him, right? And he was trying to make it tense and all that type of stuff. Canelo looked at him and shook his hand and put his hand around him like he was a son. Bro, he punked him. I don't care what y'all talking about. Bro, the reason why he punked him, if you ever had a dog and the dog will show you his fangs and make a scary face, and you're the master and you're the owner of the dog, it don't matter if it's a pit bull, you need to nip that in the bud so the dog doesn't think if he doesn't get his way that he can just grill you and scare you. So you'll see the master. Hey, no, stop, sit. And like the dog will get submissive. Y'all know if you've ever had a dog and had this situation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the dog is showing you his canine, like trying to look like DMX. Get at me, dog. Get at me, dog, with a rip. This one here, I flip him. Stay out the dark. If I catch you when the sun is down, run it, come up, puff that, I'm going to gun it down. Me, Mickey. Bro, Terence Crawford was trying to get on his DMX, trying to get his balk on. And he was trying to do the scary eyes. Canelo was just like, shook his hand, and Bud shook his hand. Bro, I didn't like that for Bud because what we've seen from Bud is pure mean streak. I was hoping that Bud Crawford did not do that because like somebody just like, I don't know, snake charmed your energy or whatever. I don't even know what to call that. But you came up like real intense and mad dogging. And then he was just like, oh, it's okay. It's okay, mijo. Bro, he treated you like one of his kids. You was little hijo. You're a little mija. Bro, he was like, it's okay, mija. You had a bad dream? And put his hand around you. And then Crawford did it back. I didn't like that. Bro, you know me when it comes. Bro, he treated Crawford like his hijo. Like Crawford woke up from his kid woke up from a bad dream. Cucuy, el cucuy, cucuy mia, hijo, el cucuy. Bro. And made Bud submit, and Bud started shaking his head. So watch, Bud be secretly watching, him and his team be secretly watching my video. Watch, he gonna try to show no mercy tomorrow at the weigh-in. Bro, I got this game figured out. Watch, tomorrow, Bud's team be watching my videos. Y'all know that. So now that I said this and revealed the secret, Bud's team gonna be like, whoa, Canelo push him and try to act gangster, do all that stuff, because Canelo treated you like mija, like his hijo. Bro, he treated you like hijo. And you did it like, bro, I didn't expect that from Bud Crawford. Because normally Bud, like, I was expecting Bud, like, man, get off me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, flick his hand off or something. You start shaking his hand and dapping up. That the energy, I don't like that energy because it reminds me of, like, I hate when fighters do this. I've always said this on my channel. Well before this stinking ass fight was done. If a fighter whoop yo in the round, right, and then you're walking back to your corner and you pat him on the butt or you hit their glove, I hate that because they whooped you. Why are you thanking them? Why are you like showing sportsmanship and thanking them for an ab beating? That don't even make sense. So I was surprised that Canelo, I don't know if Bud thought about it like in the moment, but I don't think he should have did that. I don't think he should have did that because Canelo literally took your aggression and it was on looking like 8, 9, 10, and he took it down to like a puppy. You had a growling dog and then you made the dog stop growling. That's what it looked like to me. You were the rat. You were Cujo a minute ago. And then Canelo like, mija, it's okay, hijo. And he put his hand around you and dapped you up and showed you sportsmanship. Like, to me, the way I took it, it's just kind of like, but that's not scary. But that's not scary, bud. Cut it out. Come on, bud. I'm Nello. I got 70 fights out this month. I got 65 fights. Come on, bud. Like, that's how he, bro. Canelo treated you like chupapi muñeño. Canelo said, me quite, me roto, me seta, cumanata, chuchotos, me quiniadro. Bro, he hit you with the Chris Tucker from Friday. He said, chill out, bud. It's angel dust. As soon as he said that, I started feeling funny as hell. Next thing I know, I'm shaking hands with Nello. Bro, he hit you with that. Me quite, me roto, me seta, cumanata, chuchotos, me quiniadro. Bro, Canelo teaching Bud Spanish. Oh my, all the humanity. Chill out, Holmes. Bud Holmes. It's angel dust. And Bud he fell for the Jedi mind trick and started dapping Canelo back. Why you do that, Bud? You had to do that, Bud. Why you let Canelo trick you, bro? See, that's where Canelo got the experience lead because you fell for the okey doke. You fell for the mousetrap. Canelo put the cheese right there and you came right to it. Dick. Bro, you fell for the mousetrap. Canelo started commenting all that day. He said, commentate. Bro, Canelo teaching Bud Spanish. He said, levantate. Siéntate. Bro, he put Bud in the Spanish class. He said, levántate, siéntate. Bro, he told you, sit down. Bro, he hit you like Joe Brown. Man, sit down. You mean to tell me you had $20, gave the other lady the other 20? And I know a crackhead. Bro, that man said, levántate, siéntate. And change Bud whole energy up. What happened to that? I'm a roughneck, brother. What happened to all the other stuff, bro? So yeah, I didn't like that for Bud. We'll see if it changed in the fight, bro. Canelo had you from the growl and the mean mug to like calm that down. Like, it's okay. Bro, look. And then look at Bud, bro. Look at his face. Bro, Canelo is looking at him like it's his son. Bro, he said, when we were kids, having respect felt good. But having respect felt even better. Bro, the man Canelo came in like blood in, blood out. He treating you like Miklo. Right there. Look. Bro. My boy came in with the Van Damme black tank top. You let my boy Canelo come in with the the Jean-Claude Van Damme double impact black tank top and punk you. Bro, you let him come in with the blood sport kickboxer double impact Jean-Claude Van Damme. Bro, you let him come in with the Universal Soldier. I just want to eat. You let him come in with the Jean-Claude, JCVD, and hard target. How's the soup, Chance? A tragedy. The coffee was tolerable, though. Bro, you let my boy Nello come in with the kickboxer black tank top and punk you. Bro, when he was dancing, doo-doo-doo. Try, come on. Bro, he came with the blood sport. Boxing is a blood sport. You let my boy Canelo come in with the Frank Duke. Like, put up your Dukes, right? It's the American who makes tricks with bricks. That's Turkey. Bro, remember Turkey the dude with the coin at the beginning of the blood sport. And he was like, look, it's the American who makes tricks with bricks. You lose, American asshole. And then Van Damme was like, And then there was no coin. That's Turkey. Bro, you let my boy Canelo come in with this JCVD time cop. There are no new messages. Doing the splits. Doing the splits on the counter. Hey, I'm done, bro. Where Bolo Young at? My boy Canelo came with the blood in, blood out. Treated you like Miklo. I don't care what no Bud fans say about it. Van Damme dancing on the bar, traded for his home. Bro, he is Marlene good. Bro, you Bud, you gotta redeem yourself. Hey, Bud, man, you gotta do something, baby. Make it hot, bro. You gotta do something, Bud. Now, in addition to Canelo having the black tank top from Kickboxer, this is the leanest we done seen Canelo in quite some time. I like that for Canelo. Y'all want me to show you on the phone or you want me to put it on the big screen? Y'all want me to show you on the phone or put it on the big screen? Nello is looking light and in shape. You want me to show you on the phone or you want me to show you on the big screen? Come on, y'all got to vote. I actually like the size pause. Obviously, it's a pause. I like the size that Canelo got down to. I really do for this fight because Bud is agile and has good speed. So you want to keep up with that. If Canelo came in looking like the Kovalev fight or Bivol, where he looked bulkier and bigger, I would be like, ooh, that's bad for you. He came in at the right. I mean, I don't know what he weighs. I'm just talking about the ego eye test because I'm the man. You know, the ego eye test, ego Weight Watchers be on point. So I don't know how much the man weigh. I'm just talking about the eye test, the ego Weight Watchers. I'll show y'all. Hold on. Try. Come on. Yeah. Oh. Hey, y'all got to get my likes up. Y'all be playing with me, bro. What the hell? Bro, look. That's a good weight, bro. This look lighter than Canelo's been. That's a good weight for Canelo for this fight. I like that. Bro, he looked lean. Like, I haven't seen him like this in a minute. See, he heard y'all talking. Y'all talking crazy on his name, and he got something to say about it. Bro, look. Look, Canelo, bro, I'm trying to tell you. Can we get much higher? Bro, try to tell y'all. Man, what the heck? Bro, Nello look light. I ain't mad. I think that's the perfect like size that he should be at. Because he looks. I've obviously um followed these careers, you know what I mean, and been doing this at a high level for hella years. So I've watched all of Crawford's fights. I watched all of Nelo's fights. Bro, look, that's a good bro. That's a good weight for Nello for the boy, bro. Pause. You feel me? And see, the Bud Buddies are ridiculous. So they're, oh, you're glazing. Bro, I'm just giving credit where credit's due. If he was fat, I'll tell you he's fat. But I like what he did. I like the training, like, or whatever he did. He definitely Boots and Yoelni Hernandez probably pushed him. And the haters and the doubt and all that type of stuff. Y'all been talking crazy on the man. So he looked like he put it, you know what I mean? Look, so I could zoom in a little bit. Bro, because Canelo got that like Mike Tyson prime type of body, like no neck, thick neck, pretty big shoulders, you know, arms. Like, I'm not trying to, you get what I'm saying. I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're talking about a man's body. Y'all ridiculous. But you see him? He still got a six pack. Canelo just like, bro, he just like a kind of big, thick, like stubby dude, bro. So I think he pulled out all the stops. We'll just say that. If you had to get ready, that's what I wanted to see from Canelo, and he did just that. You know what I mean? Instead of coming in like Bevo, because watch his fight with Bevo Kovalev, more recent fights like that. John Ryder, he didn't look like that crazy shape to me versus John Ryder. The one where he fought in Mexico. He didn't look like no crazy shape. Like and see, the other thing is, I try to tell y'all, Canelo's kind of like an opportunist. You feel me? So he got to a point where he's had so many fights, he got to preserve himself. You know what I mean? He got to kind of preserve himself, and he's not gonna overwork, like work harder than he needs to work. You see what I'm saying? He's just not. At this age, that many fights in, he's not gonna like overexert himself when it's not needed. So maybe that's been why he's looked kind of mediocre in some of them fights, where it's like, I'm fighting John Ryder, I'm beating him up, he ain't gonna beat me. You know what I'm saying? I broke his nose or whatever. See, this is him. You see him for the John Ryder fight. Remember what I was telling you? Look at that. You tell me you don't see it. You see how he just looked like, he looked like more hub. Like he looked like more water weight, more like this is him at the weigh-in. You can't tell me you don't see a difference. You can't tell me. That's the John Ryder fight. That's what I'm talking about. He just looked bigger and boxier and stuff. He knew Canelo fighting Crawford, this ain't John Ryder. You better come in some shapes. You know what I mean? You got to be in some like damn near leaner. Tell me if I'm tripping, because I know the Bud Buddies going to hate. That's all they do, right? But y'all tell me, John Ryder, Canelo? This is him days before the fight. So this picture is at the weigh-in. So this is on Friday, right? So this is Canelo and the John Ryder fight on a Friday. One day, today is Thursday, about to be Friday. So this is how he was looking on a Friday for the John Ryder fight. Or, yeah, on a Friday. This is how he's looking on a Thursday, which is only one day before the fight. If you don't see a lighter, leaner, trimmer Canelo, then I feel like you're kind of hating. said the boy looked thick. That's what I'm saying. Like this, if you and it's at the thing is these boxers are crazy because it's at the same weight class. You feel me? Like he's doing this and weighing what he needs to weigh versus John Ryder, which was anything under 168, and he's doing that here too. It just looked like he had a different camp. So I'm not mad at it. I like that for Canelo. Bud's in hell of a shape too. Bud looks like he's in great shape. But here's the difference. The difference being Canelo is tried and true at these weights. Bud is more a shot in the dark of how he's going to look, how he's going to take a shot. Bro, the Bud buddies, in my opinion, have been very disrespectful to Canelo. Like he offers nothing. Like he don't have no skill. Like he a scrub. Like he just don't got 65 fight. Like he done and weak, and I don't know. I think that's too far. They talking about Bud stop him in the first round. I mean, I guess. I don't see that. First round knockout, Bud. So I think the Bud buddies have been unrealistic because here's the other thing. This is what I hate about boxing, bro. Is too many opinions, and most of these opinions don't know ish about boxing, or they're so biased where they're not gonna keep it real. Like I don't listen to Shakur Stevenson. I'm sorry. I don't listen to his opinions on fights because when he's connected to the person, it's never realistic. He just did an interview talking about Bud better than Floyd Mayweather, basically. Man, come on, bro. And then us YouTubers, we get a bad rap. Like, oh, you're a stupid YouTuber. You're not the boxer. You don't box. I don't say stupid stuff either. I don't say Bud is better than Floyd Mayweather either. Man, get him out of here, bro. Pack him up. Bud, like, my thing is this. Even if Bud is a quality fighter, which he is, how can you be better than Floyd when your resume is some dog shit? You don't even have the same scale to even prove that. So if one doctor draws one vial of blood, just does a blood draw, and then the other doctor is performing open heart surgery, how can you compare these two doctors and be like, man, that Dr. Dre, you see how he drew that blood? Dr. Dre got it. He better than Dr. Mayweather. Do you see how stupid that sounds? Like, bro, this dude just had a complex surgery. Like DMX said, so you got what you came for. Surgery with the chainsaw. Right? This dude did open heart surgery or a complex surgery. This dude drew some blood. Fighting David Avanesian, that's like a blood draw. That ain't no complex doctory mission. So I can never say Bud is, I don't even if he beat Canelo, he still ain't better than Floyd. You out your scalp. How is he better than Floyd? Floyd didn't have to gain 80 pounds or whatever and look bigger than Canelo, and Floyd still beat him. Bud can never be better than Floyd. Because if you were going to be better, you would have had done it a long time ago. But bro, that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all bums, y'all say whatever, like recency bias or whatever. Why would you be more impressed with a guy, Bud literally looks bigger than Canelo right now? Terrible analogy, but I get what you're saying. Block him. Don't you ever disrespect me. Fully semi-automatic. Block him. It wasn't no terrible analogy. I'm saying one person's doing complex things and the other person's not. There's nothing terrible about that. So you're out of here. Don't you ever disrespect me. Hey, get him out of here. I'll show you a fully semi-auto. I told you, y'all be in my chat walking around like you got an S in your chest. Now that's a semi-auto with a vest on your... Yeah. Don't you ever disrespect me. Bro, I'm going to put it like this. I don't care what Shakur Stevenson says. I don't care what none of y'all said. Shakur Stevenson, it could be a Afeni Shakur, Mo Preem Shakur. I don't care what none of y'all talking about. Floyd is consistently the small man, right? He fought undefeated Canelo, who didn't know how to lose and clearly was not bigger in size than Canelo, and he dog walked him. That is always going to be more impressive than a Bud Crawford fighting a Canelo that's not in prime at all, and he looks bigger than the muff anyway. When I'm looking at Bud next to Crawford, he looked like the bigger man. So, yeah, you'll never be better than Floyd. That don't even make sense. That's like if Boxingego dated a chick in her prime, like in high school when she was the prom queen, and you date her, she got 4 kids with 4 baby daddies, and she ran through, and then you date her now, who got the more, she don't got no job, the look started to fade, she got crow's feet. How do you have the better version of her when Boxingego smoked her when she was a V in high school? You see it don't make sense. So I don't listen to no Shakur Stevenson. He just is like a fanboy. He just too in awe of Bud Crawford. Bud cool. Bud's a good fighter. A good little fighter. But you're not better than Floyd, bro. The best in my book will never get whitewashed in a fight and lose every round but the 12th. Who did that, though? I don't know what you're talking about. Who lost every round but the 12th? I don't even know what you're talking about. Bro, Floyd, that's not even a conversation. Floyd didn't have to be bigger than you to destroy you. Bud had to get with Victor Conti, get with snack up to the point where he had a damn near a beer belly and bulk up to try to attempt this Canelo stuff. And then we still, we'll find out on Saturday what it is. You know what I mean? But you can't be better than Floyd. Your resume is not better. Floyd beat more current and former world champs and all that. Like, come on, bro. And he didn't have to be bigger than them to do it. Bud is usually, in recent years, not really mad smaller than people. And like, this is what I'm really starting to wonder with the Bud buddies. Do y'all watch boxing? Like, honestly. Like, do y'all watch and like study and articulate what you're seeing, or do you just like get behind something and just like, yeah? Because people keep comparing Bud to Mayweather. Why? They don't fight nothing alike. I'm sure you could fight, like, you could compare Bud to like Marvin Hagler or somebody a lot better than Mayweather. Like, that is just stupid to me. Bud gets hit. When has Bud fought where he looked like he walked on water in terms of not getting hit, where his opponent didn't look damaged? Like Errol Spence, he looked like he just couldn't get nothing off. I'm talking about where you had a game, like a stupid game opponent that was in shape and trying, didn't look wounded or anything, and they were really pressing and trying, and Bud was just like, whoop, whoop, do. So real talk, Canelo probably got better defense than Bud Crawford. Hear me out, because I know this might be unpopular opinion. How does Canelo not have better defense? Because here's the thing. The times where I seen Canelo probably look worse or get hit the most, them guys were bigger than him. Kovalev, he didn't look good in that fight up until the stoppage. Bivol, he for sure didn't look good in that fight. William Skoll, he didn't look good in that fight. But them guys are all like significantly bigger than him. Bud is not fighting people that is significantly bigger than him and untouched. Yes, like Floyd Diego Corrales, where there's a marked size differential and a power differential on paper, and Floyd destroyed him. Bud is not doing that. Like who looked way bigger than Bud in any of these fights? Like, for me, if Bud fought Sebastian Fundora at 154 and got untouched, then I would give it credit. And I know some people are like, what are you talking about, Fundora? Bro, Fundora would be a hard fight for Crawford. Hard. Because the man's reach is like 84 inches. All that switch hitting stuff, he could touch you from long range, bro. Bro, Fundora is an inside fighter, and you're punching upward at a weird trajectory because he's 6'7", and he liked the inside fight, and he got vicious uppercuts. And then if he fights like he fought Tim Tszyu in a rematch, it's really a problem. Where he mixes brawling and boxing, bro. Fundora, I promise you on everything, Fundora would be a super tough fight for Bud. Super tough. But that's what I'm saying. See, and what I don't like about boxing is this. These boxers will say, I'm a boogeyman, I'm a boogeyman, I'm a boogeyman, I'm a boogeyman. And then they have an opportunity when the divisions or they move up or whatever, or the division starts to fill out, and then they start being choosy. This always happens. Tell me I'm lying. Let me run it back. Boxers will oftentimes say, nobody wants to fight me. Everybody's scared to fight me. But then over time, the division will start to fill out. So people move up or whatever, and you start having more dynamic people. And you think about it, you're like, hey, that's a good fight for you now. That wasn't there 2 years ago, but so-and-so moved up. And now that's a great fight for you. And then they were like, nah, why should I fight them? You're not the boogeyman then. That's Terence Crawford. Golovkin did it too. Golovkin was known as the boogeyman. And then people started to emerge at 160, like Demetrius Andrade, who was undefeated, southpaw, Olympian, like Jermall Charlo, and he didn't fight none of them. So you were at middleweight, and it was like Daniel Gill and these weaker names that we knew you was finna beat. Dominique Wade and all that. And Ishida and all this, like names like that. We knew they couldn't beat you. But then over time, the division started to shape up. Jermall moved up. You had all these different fighters like Andrade's move up. And then you didn't take none of them fights. But you want to, Bud did the same thing. 54 is perhaps the best division in boxing right now. Prove me wrong. I want who next. You guys cannot defeat me. I'm the best that's ever lived in this whole entire sport in the digital age. The best. I am boxing's encyclopedia. I promise on everything I love, you guys cannot defeat me. 154 is perhaps the most jam-packed division in all of boxing right now. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Heavyweight. They got a couple guys. But who, not really. You got Usyk and some new dudes that are unproven. So that ain't the best division. Moises Atuma, we don't know what he can do. He's still young. Light heavyweight, you got two dudes. Better Beav and Beevil. 54, 47 is trash. What you mean? Right now, 40. Okay, you got 47 right now, got a 50-year-old Pacquiao, I want to like 46-year-old, 47-year-old Pacquiao, and Barrios. And then Devin Haney, he never even fought there. He might get knocked out by Brian Norman. We don't know. So how can I say Devin Haney is a top welterweight with no fights? See, y'all can't beat me. I promise you. I'm unbeatable. I'm Floyd in his prime. I'm too sharp. How can Devin Haney be a quality welterweight with 0 fights at welterweight? Jose Ramirez was at a catchweight. That's not, I'm talking 147. You said 147. You didn't say 144 where he fought Ramirez. So he is Devin. No, we don't know what happens with Brian Norman. Brian Norman's cool, but he don't have the resume right now. That's why he's fighting Devin Haney. So Brian Norman, seemingly good. We'll see what happens with Devin Haney. So we'll see who emerges. Boots is no longer there. Virgil Ortiz is no longer there. Keith Thurman's no longer there. What y'all talking about? Floyd ain't no longer there. Y'all can't defeat me, bro. 54 is the best, the most packed division. Where if you mix, if Boxingego had a round robin, you don't know who's gonna win. If Jermell Charlo, Murtazaev, Bud Crawford, let's say he didn't move up, Bud Crawford, Fundora, Tim Tszyu, Erickson Lubin, Virgil Ortiz, Jerron Boots Ennis, if they all fought, you don't know what happened. That's 8 people off the top of the dome, bro. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. No one can beat me. And I know I didn't even go through everyone, but that's a hell of a list. That's almost 10 people off the top of my dome. Murtazaev is super tough. Then you still got rogue players like Josh Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, he might can do something against something. I don't know. 47 field with 135ers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bro, right now, 54 is the most packed, and Bud pretty much ran for it for the payday. So you was the boogeyman, and then now 54 filled out where there's way better fights, and then now you're not fighting none of them. Oh, and you got Madrimov. Madrimov is good. He's pretty good. That, bro, 154, Madrimov, Virgil, Boachuk, all the people I just named, Jermell, Fundora, Tszyu, Ramos. Come on, bro. I can't be defeated. Jesus Ramos, really? Tell me I don't know boxing. Tell me I don't know this sport. Bro, it's the most stacked division. Inui's division ain't stacked. He about to fight probably the best person he could fight, MJ. None of these other divisions are stacked like that. Lightweight used to be stacked, but Ryan left, Devin left, T.O. left, Lomachenko retired. You know, Tank fighting Jake Paul. I don't know what happened with that. So you got Shakur. Keyshawn left. You got Shakur and maybe Lamont Roach. And like, bro, it ain't the same. 54 is the most incredulous division, bro. So, yeah, I hate that in boxing that, right? Like, Bud, his career was stifled with Top Rank. We know that. Couldn't get all the big fights, whatever. But then you became a free agent and you didn't make none of the right moves. Outside of Errol Spence. That was a good one. But, like, you start bouncing around and, like, you know, now we're here. But that press conference was weak. I don't care what none of y'all talking about. That was boring. Straight up boring. I didn't enjoy it at all. Canelo and Sean Zelle probably had the best moments. Dana White wasn't saying nothing, wouldn't answer Zettel's question. Crawford and Bomac, they didn't really bring no kind of energy. That's what I'm saying, bro. And this is probably Turkey's problem. Turkey should have paid me. I try to tell you, he should have cashed me out. I get you real right. Because this ain't it. You are doing what you want to do instead of listening to the public. And Max Kellerman sold out. He talking about UFC and all this. Like, that's why Canelo checked him. He's like, nah, boxing is bigger. We ain't trying to hear that noise, bro. That was so stupid. I don't even know why he said that. And then, like, bro, I'm just being real. The other major problem that I foreshadow with Turkey events and ring is it's too try hard in terms of every event it's like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. You feel me? Every event is the same. It's Groundhog Day. When Bill Murray kept waking up, every day was the same. That's every event. Every event, there's a dedicated, less glazed turkey in ring and Riyadh season. We understand you guys are putting up the money. Saudi Arabia is probably a beautiful place. and the kingdom. We get it. But it seems like it seems so forced. Like Michael Buffer will introduce the fighters, and before that, he'd be like, and the man that brought this all together, His Excellency Turkey and Ring and Riyadh season and Riyadh and Zelle, da 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 da. Bro, every single of it, like, we get it. Like, I wouldn't even mind you're putting up the bread, cool. But it's like you trying too hard to attach your name. And boxing fans, ultimately, we don't care, to be honest. I'm just being real. We just kind of want to see the fights and stuff like that and have a good, entertaining schedule, blah, blah, blah. But this whole glazing, oh, Turkey did this and Turkey and blah, 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 and His Excellency, and oh my gosh, and we have a voodoo doll of you. Like, it's like they always have, like, they're doing too much, bro. We have a commemorative coin with Turkey's face on it. We built you this cake. We got this wedding cake and cake to show you Turkey. It's like excessive. Excessive. Because you got to look at the viewer, bro. Like, you're a Canelo fan. You're not a Turkey fan. I mean, be real. Canelo been fighting since he was 15. You watched his career. Crawford been relevant since 2014. You're a Crawford fan. You're a Bud Buddy. You watched his career. In 2014, we didn't even know what a turkey was. So up front, it's too aggressive and it's too constant of like, oh man, Turkey did this and Ring did this and we got a special Ring show and Ring got a new program and Max Kellerman in Ring. It seemed like too many puppets. We got a Ferrari cake. We got balloons with Turkey face on it. Like, come on, bro. At what point is it like the boxing is the forefront? And then one boxing reporter out of like everybody, Sean Zelle, got the nerve and the nuts to ask a real question, and they immediately shoot him down and call him an a-hole. You see how that is? Bro, I can't support that. I can't support that. So when it was like tossing around sausage, it was a sausage party, and everybody was glazing, and oh yeah, passing around salami and sausage, and it was a meat party. That was all good. But then one person defies the odds, Sean Zelle, and has something as a boxing hardcore that's near and dear to his heart that we all need to know, and how this is going to look and how it's going to affect the fighters, and you are dismissive and you disrespect him in front of the camera and call him an a-hole. You think this is a good first impression to the people? People know Sean Zelle more than they know you for boxing because he got a YouTube channel. He provided you coverage for this fight, and this fight. Dana White ain't done nothing for us as a boxing fan. So you're not even in the position, in my opinion, to kind of dictate and to disrespect one of our own. Boxing is a fraternity. Sean Zelle, whether you agree with his opinions or not, or like him or subscribe to him, he's part of that fraternity, just like I am. We've been holding down boxing, all of us. We can differ. It's like Tupac said, we might fight amongst each other, but I promise you this, we'll burn this down, get us pit to live and die in boxing. We did this. Pensacola, we talked tonight. You said he's showboating. How is he showboating? He asked you a question like everyone else, but because he wasn't glazing, it became you had to disrespect him. That wasn't a good look, bro. Straight up. W for Sean, because if a person don't want to answer, what they got to hide? You talking about book an interview, and then off the record, Sean tried to book an interview, and he gonna drill you the same way, pause, and you go like, nah, I ain't doing no interviews. So like, nah, tell us in front of the camera. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how they try to backdoor you and like backburner you. You feel me? Like, oh, you want to talk about this? It's not about me. TKO's in charge of this event. No, So it is about you. You guys keep talking about we did this and we put together the largest live gate. See, that's what's wrong with people. When it's positive, you're like, yeah, the biggest live gate. I don't even know if that's true. I don't even think it's true. But when it's the biggest live gate, you'll take credit for it. When people have questions or don't like how you run and ship, you're like, oh no, I don't want to talk about that. See how that works? I'll be glad when this fight's over. This is weak. This is weak, bro. I seen a slow motion video of Turkey with the grand arrival. Hey, blood. Hey, come on, bro. My dude from Stockton is tripping. I know. I gotta put him on the screen. Pause. Hey, bro. That threw me so off because I was trying to read that, bro. Hey, come on, bro. My man from Stockton said he's seen a slow motion video of Turkey walking and doing a grand arrival. They acting like he is Denzel Washington or something. I'm so done. I know exactly what you're talking about. Bro, they acting like Turkey is Denzel and Man on Fire when he put the bomb in the dude booty. And he was like, yeah, I wish you had more time. And he blew up the bomb and just walked off cool. Bro, I seen that walk. I seen the Turkey walk. He tried to walk like Denzel and Man on Fire. I know exactly what you're talking. What, bro? Why do we need to see Turkey grand arrival? Like, who are you, bro? Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, Canelo trained 10 weeks. Crawford trained 10 weeks. Did you train 10 weeks? Like, what? Why are you on the screen right now? Hey, come on, blood. Hey, blood. Why you on the screen though? Like, did Crawford then bulked up and then lost the weight? Canelo leaned, 10-week camp, ate the right diet, did everything, and y'all all in the video. Why we need to see you? I want to see Crawford walk. I want to see Nello walk. Why are we watching you walk? Why we gotta watch that? Like, what that got to do with nothing? Yeah, bro. I feel you on that. That's funny. I told you, Ego, Turkey's a rich kid that crave attention and recognition. Bro, but I'm trying to tell you, it's not going to work in boxing. You could believe whatever. It's not going to work in boxing. Not in America. In America, that's not going to. We got all types of problems and people get shot up and like, no. Bro, that America is a different place, bro. I'm trying to tell you, dog. America is completely different than other places. Americans, we're not impressed with certain things. Like, we're not the UK where we just hold hands and sing Sweet Caroline. Not the same place, bro. So we'll see. We'll see how people respond to it, but it don't look good. The press conference was cringe, bro. And like, I'm a straight up and down person. If the press conference was fire and I told you it was weak, I would be looking like a liar. The reason I can say this stuff is because deep down inside, whether you're a bud buddy or not, you know what I'm saying is true. Because here's the thing. The bud buddies and all these people come in like, oh, you're hating and da-da-da-da-da. If I was hating, I would be looking like a moron in front of everybody because it was some real fire and I was nitpicking or making it sound like it wasn't fire. And the consensus was. The reason why ain't nobody checking me and saying, hey, you're lying and this is because they know what I'm saying is true. So I believe in that. I came in the game telling the truth and ain't nothing changed. Why would I stop? Why would I stop telling the truth now? You could believe Max Kellerman, who just said that boxing is taking a dip and UFC is cracking. Or you could believe the YouTuber that put out, see, Max Kellerman, there was a point in time where he was unemployed from sports. I ain't take no days off. I've been in 20 plus years. I ain't take no days off though. So you don't have to like me. You can like me. I don't really care. I put in the work. So my body of work speaks for itself. I'm the king. I can talk that talk. I'm a Bud fan and Nello, but facts is fact. Yeah, I don't have anything against either fighter. It is boring though. This build up is pretty pathetic. Like, I haven't even really seen nothing from Netflix. Everything they're posting is super generic. Like, I seen a post from Netflix and it was like 800 rounds. No one's been knocked down. Bro, Ring already put that graphic out like 2 months ago. That's not enough to hype the people up, bro. And what I've noticed with Turkey and Ring is they'll try to innovate in the areas that no one wants them to innovate. It's like these apps, right? You ever have like YouTube or Instagram, and like, let's say Instagram, there's certain things on Instagram that bother me. And as a user, I wish they would fix it, right? But they have all these updates, but the stuff as an everyday user and a business owner that I need them to fix, they never fix that. But then they'll be like, oh, you could now put 5 hashtags. I don't care about that. I care about these quality of life things that would make the Instagram better. Like, for example, have you ever sent somebody an Instagram video, like to their text message, and then the text message shows up and it says Instagram, and then they got to click in it and log in, or they click in it and it's not the reel that you sent them? It'll be a completely different reel. And it'd be like, Madonna? I know my boy from Stockton didn't send me something about Madonna. So you have to keep clicking into the Instagram link, and finally the reel that they intended to send will come up. Instagram still hasn't fixed that. But then you come up with all these other features that no one's even asking for. That's Ring, that's Riyadh season, that's Turkey. They're innovating in, like, oh, we're going to start our undercards on Thursday. We don't want that. People in America have jobs. Like, who's watching boxing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? So it's like a waste of time to segregate and separate. Someone said boxing is like crack, it sells itself. That's a bar. That's a bar. That's what I'm saying. Fix the stuff, like, don't get rid of the Ali Act. How about that? You trying to get rid of the Ali Act, but then put Canelo and Crawford on a raft so they could take a picture. We don't need that. We need the fighters to get paid, and we need Canelo to fight David Benavidez. They're bragging at the press conference that Canelo's making more than $100 million. We ain't seen that money. We don't care. I don't care how much he getting. I want him to fight David Benavidez. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, why be braggadocious about the angles that no one even cares about? Like, if you went to a boxing event and they're like, the ring is made of 24 karat gold, I really wouldn't care about that. Why is the ring being 24 karat gold? Is that going to make the fight better some kind of way? I'm trying to see a knockout. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's what happens. You got a lot of these big wigs and they're not tapped in. Dana White, Turkey, they should have been reached out to me. It's going to cost you. But you need advisors, people like myself who are in this boxing game, so they can let you know what direction, or at least provide a different set of ears. You're pulling in people that aren't even like boxing heads, and then that might be your social media manager. That might be your matchmaker, and it shows. No one asked for Canelo Crawford. I do this on multiple platforms, and I got great impressions and viewerships on multiple platforms. I never really even seen people saying, man, I can't wait for Crawford to move up to 168 and fight Canelo. Never once did I see it until Turkey started talking about it. Never. Nobody said that. So again, you're doing what you want to do. I get it, it's your money, but this is always going to be the response if you don't listen to the crowd to do what you want to do. Yeah, and then like they're doing like the promotion has been pathetic, bro. Netflix, they're in the same boat as Dana White. You're new to this boxing thing. We don't know you. Go to the Netflix comments. Half the people are like, you better not buffer. The server is gonna crash. So you none of these people are like deep into boxing where it's earned boxing fans trust. Turkey, no. Dana White, for sure, no. Netflix, no. And then you come in trying to change a bunch of stuff, and then you don't. Then people who are every day into boxing or every big event, like Sean Zelle, you try to discount him and clown him in front of people and call him an a-hole. You think that looks good? We know Sean Zelle. Sean Zelle has probably provided a clip that you like. Dana White and them, they didn't do that. So people like we got to start respecting YouTubers and respecting boxing, real boxing media who care about the fighters and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because if they're gonna disrespect Jean Zelle for asking a question, that shows you kind of what time they're on, and it's not a good sign. How is it a good sign? Boxing Scene is writing articles talking about, hey, every time we apply to a Turkey event, they're blocking us. This ain't what Turkey said he was coming in the game for. Turkey said he was coming in boxing to help boxing and to unite boxing. Boxing Scene is one of the biggest websites. And Boxing Scene, I've had my differences with Boxing Scene. Put it that way. I think it's new people. They got me blocked. But it's the old people. Like, I don't even think the new people have issue with me. But you see what I'm saying? But I'm still standing up for what's real. They got a big website. Why they getting blocked? But then you got these goofballs in the crowd asking questions. You don't think Boxing Scene probably could have sent someone better than random people you did credential? So you can't tell how you gonna say you care about boxing, but then you got one of the biggest boxing linear platforms and you won't credential them. But then you'll credential people. Now, I'm not trying to be rude because we all start from somewhere, but some of these motherfuckers don't matter, bro. Like me, their channels are so small in the early stages where you're not going to watch their video. You're going to watch it from Fight Hub or Fight Hype or whoever before you watch it from them because they're not even in the YouTube algorithm like that to even be showing up. But I'm sure Boxing Scene has a built-in amount of audience and monthly people that go to the website. So you got the game. They got the game kind of trash right now, to be honest. Canelo Crawford has been disrespectfully promoted, in my opinion. And I'm not a fan of it. So let's get through it. Hopefully the fight delivers and is better than what I think it's going to be, you know. But I'll be honest, no matter what, if it's a banger, it's a banger. But we got to, I feel like we got to stand up for boxing because if they keep disrespecting like YouTubers and people for asking questions and stuff like that, we will mess around and boycott. Boxing ain't that serious. We gonna show you who has the power. I promise you. I promise you. Mark my words. We might fight amongst each other, but I promise you this: we'll burn this bit down. You get us pit. You disrespecting our own, like you disrespecting Sean Zelle. Won't answer just off a question. And then these people be like, oh, you're a snowflake. You're a snowflake. They be calling people snowflakes and stuff like that. But who's a snowflake if you can't answer a simple professional question? You see what I'm saying? So you got to watch out. Like, my thing is this. If they'll treat one of us like that, who's to say they won't treat us all like that if we don't like if we're not slaves to the system? That's the part that's scary. YouTubers move the needle. Y'all knew that though. That's what I'm saying. So they better act right because a lot of us got each other's numbers and stuff. We'll mess around and unify and throw a boxing strike out this bit, and we'll see. It's already expensive as hell in Vegas and places like that anyway. Hopefully, it don't get to something like that. But like you bragging about Canelo getting $150 million. Yeah, see how that is if nobody in the crowd though, or not that many people in the crowd because you disrespecting boxing fans. The Muhammad Ali Act question is something serious. That's what I'm saying. If they gonna treat Sean like that, they gonna treat anybody like that. He didn't do nothing wrong for asking a question, bro. That I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to take it culturally, but that's kind of like some of these other countries. Like in Saudi Arabia, you might get imprisoned for your opinion. That's the reality. In some of these countries, I've seen it, I've read it where if you protest in certain countries or you've been on Twitter and you're going against the status quo or the government, they will imprison you or worse. So here in America, it's a completely different culture. Y'all all be talking about freedom of speech. What type of freedom of speech is that if a man professionally asks a question and you cut him off, call him an a-hole, and deflect and don't answer the question? How is that freedom of press and freedom of speech? You tell me. How are you as a boxing fan okay with that? And then people are trying to change something that don't really need to be changed and could be hurtful. And then the one person asking something, you try to like kind of ridicule him. Dana White says something to the effect of get out of here or like skedaddle or something like that. Like enough of you, so to speak. And then again, he said it speaks to Dana White's mentality. Exactly. You're new here. You're new here and you're talking to like, you don't even know who maybe Sean Zelle is. And you're just talking to him like he a maggot. You know what I mean? And you talking about UFC fights at the White House. We don't need that. We don't want boxing fights at the White House and all this goofy stuff. Bro, listen, I'm gonna say something. It's my opinion. A lot of people won't say it, but I'll say it. Black people, Mexican people, and Latinos, boxing has and always will be primarily these two bases. I'm not saying there's no other fans. I'm not saying that. But you can't have boxing. Like, put it, if all black fighters and all Mexican fighters and Latino fighters went on strike, boxing would be what? Fill in the blank. If every nit and every Mexican fan revolted and said, we're not fighting, how would boxing look, bro? Caleb Walsh versus who? Because he's fighting a Mexican on Saturday. He's fighting Fernando Vargas' son. So if every Mexican and every ninja, every Latino was like, no, we don't want to fight under these terms, then boxing would be what? It'd be like the NBA when it was all like white dudes with the tiny shorts. Bro, it would be buns. This ain't the UFC, bro, where you can have a million people from Dagestan and like Russia, and they might be running the game right now. Boxing is not that. I'm trying to tell you. It is heavily, heavily influenced by black and brown. Is what it is. Like, even if black and brown fight in the comments and all that, it's still, that dynamic is there. Like, you got, like, all the illest fighters are pretty much black and Latino, with the exception of a few And maybe in certain divisions, that's not the case. Because like black people don't be small enough to even be at 105 and minimum weight, sperm weight. You see what I'm saying? Like what ninja right now weigh 118. Like so yeah, you're not gonna see that many black people in some of them divisions. Top level black people. Like who's fighting? Who's black and fighting at 115? Cat Williams. Hey, how you doing? Doesn't matter. Like I mean, you have to be tiny to fight at that division. I'm just talking about in general, bro. I mean, look at your main event. Black Mexican. That's what it is. Canelo Mexican, Crawford black. So yeah, man, they got to start treating boxing fans better and listening more. Listening to what boxing fans are requesting and what boxing fans are asking. Because right now we're asking, but it could get to a point where we're not asking anymore. People just turn away. You know what I mean? Like the commentators are horrible. Max Kellerman as the host, he did horrible, bro. Every event was horrible. He said you brought him back you brought Max Kellerman back for all but 1 week, and he has so many horrible sound bites in a couple of days of work. Like, what happened to companies and jobs where you had to withhold certain standards for the company? If not, they got to get rid of you. Some of these commentators are progressively bad time and time again. How do they just keep their job and keep being on broadcast making fans mad? Explain this. You could do a Gallup survey. Do a Gallup survey and say, hey, Max Kellerman been back for 4 days. What you think? He doing a bang up job? Needs improvement? Blah, blah, blah. Do a Gallup survey. I'll fill it out. I'll tell you what Max Kellerman, or whoever. It don't have to just be Max Kellerman. Whoever. Let's do some Gallup surveys. So when DAZN got these weak commentators that they got on the thing, and they saying stupid stuff. He hurt. Oh my gosh, he hurt. Like when the old boy on DAZN, he told a black dude, it was Vaughn Alexander. He was walking out and he was like, oh, this black guy is kind of buff. Like he fought over the last piece of chicken. Huh? Bro, that is not a joke. I promise you. The dude on DAZN said to a black fighter during his ring walk, he probably fights at the table for the last piece of chicken. Why did you say that, bro? Why it got to be chicken? What's next? Watermelon? Chitlins? Bro, I promise you the dude on DAZN said that, and he still got a job. Dude on DAZN was drilling Devin and Bill Haney. He ain't failed no drug test. But then no tough question for Ryan Garcia. So the blacks is eating chicken. The blacks, you keep asking ninjas about running and Tom and Jerry. Man, get these people out of here, bro. Why you keep asking black people about running and Tom and Jerry? And man, deal with it. If you in there with Jackie Joyner Kersey, you better figure it out. You a professional fighter. Even with Crawford. I mean, with an exception of it being excessive. If Crawford is just using some lateral movement, I don't want to hear no running stuff. Canelo need to cut off the ring. We got to change the status quo. If Canelo can't trap Crawford, then that's his problem. But they keep talking about running and Tom and Jerry and all this stuff. Bro, like I said, do a Gallup survey. If what I'm saying ain't true, do a Gallup survey. And then use the information you get from boxing fans. Do it after every show. Put out a Gallup survey. Hey, what do you think about this person on the mic? Weird. It looks like Turkey trying to set up Crawford. I mean, I don't know why you say that. Why are you trying to set him up? Bro, I'm trying to tell you for the last time. This fight is trash. This fight is dumb. Because, like, okay, here's an analogy. It's like a parent. If you're a parent and you got two little kids and they're in like certain ages, especially like very young, and you uproot them, like let's say they're doing very well in school, and then you cheat on your wife, get a divorce, and then on top of that, on top of the divorce, you say, "Hey, I'm moving out of state. My life here is over." Like that's a big change for your kids, no? Their mom is no longer in the house. You're no longer married to their mom, right? And then now they were doing good in school and you're taking them to Delaware, somewhere they don't want to be from California. You got to think about your kids, and is that a smart move to take them that far away from their mama, put them in a different school, a different state? They're thriving in this school in California. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with change and initiating like too much change too quick. That could throw people off. Hey, I'm so sorry. I've been bumping my gums. Some of y'all have been in the Cash App. Shout out to y'all. I have not got to the Cash App, but Max Axel sent $20 in the Cash App. Much love. It says, I love your channel. I've been watching it since 2017. Bro, I'm boxing's representative. Is what I do. Shout out to you for the 20. I appreciate you. And for being a longtime subscriber. I appreciate that too. But back to the analogy with the kids. The analogy is basically uprooting your kids changes everything, right? Putting them out of their school district in a new state, many miles away. They got to leave all their friends. That could be catastrophic, especially if you're going through a divorce and their mama ain't there too. So now on top of dealing with that life adjustment, they're dealing with school. Now they might start acting out, blah, blah, blah. So as it relates to boxing, the point I'm making is Turkey plucking Terence Crawford from where he just moved, 154, in order to put him at 68 is dumb. Is dumb. And for real, they're making me feel like this is a setup fight for Crawford to ride off into the sunset. That's what I feel. You know what I mean? Not saying Crawford's not going to try, because I think he always tries. But they're almost making it sound like he's going to try. But if he can't beat Canelo at this weight, he's still done a lot. He'll only have the one loss. He'll pocket a lot of money. And then he might ride off into the sunset. Like, kind of like Sean Porter. Like, Sean Porter, when he fought Crawford, he told you he knew he was not going to keep fighting. So it's like almost a waste of people's time. I like the hungry Sean Porter, not the podcaster Sean Porter, who was on a 450-day layoff fighting Crawford of all people, and then you knew you were going to retire. You know what I mean? I don't like fights like this, because then, like, this, I'm telling you, bro, and it's not PBC. Mark my words, it is never PBC. It's these other dudes. What they do is, since they're old media, they will have old media on their side, writing, trying to hype up, putting out articles, paying people to put out videos, and they'll overly hype their event, and then they'll try to find ways to like get some motion, get everybody in the room, and it does not live up to the hype of what is expected. So it's kind of like Top Rank. All right, hear me out. Top Rank is very good at grooming fighters to a certain level. The problem is, in recent memory, Top Rank, they get you to a certain point, then they can't get you over the hump to become a pay-per-view star. No one. They'll get Teofimo here, and then right here, he'd never really become a pay-per-view star. They get Shakur Stevenson up to here, then he never become a pay-per-view star. They get Crawford up to here, but then they never could get him to a bankable star. You see what I'm saying? So it's like this stage is all right, maybe a little bit lackluster, but then they can't get you over the hump. That's what we see with these non-PBC companies, a lot of them, where they'll hype it up and say, oh, like remember the card in February, Better Be of Beevil. They said this is the best card I've ever seen in my life. They said it's the best card in boxing history, like hundreds of years of boxing history, right? Don King cards where they were always like this, always loaded, and they were bigger names with better fighters. But they told you, oh, this is such a big fight. It's the best card. Do you understand? Nobody has even talked about that card ever again. Have you heard anybody bring up that February card that they said was going to be so spectacular? Shakur's opponent fell out, Floyd Schofield. Then he fights a plumber or whatever, electrician. That was trash. Daniel Dubois, he was supposed to fight on it. He gets sick. So you bring in Bacoli. He 300 pounds, out of shape, trash. He got knocked out in 2 rounds. But they said it was a legendary card. You see what I'm saying? And now no one's even talking about none of them fights. Or like they'll hype up something like, oh, Adjit Caballero. He cool, he good, but he not a star. Nobody's checking. Nobody's like, oh, when that next Adjit fight on. I got to see me some Adjit. Ain't nobody talking like that. So this is what they do. This is what old media does. They like try to overhype it, oversell it, and they do it to a point where it can never match the hype. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn, he got boots. A talented young fighter, black fighter, slick fighter, skill fighter. What has he done with boots? Boots is like, you have not been in one fight that I wanted. Not one. Because the Stanionis fight was just like, meh. Like, that was cool. I get it, unification. But that's never been the top fight where I wanted it. I guess I'll settle for it. It's better than Avocado. And it's better than fighting Sifu or random, Willie Lump. But that wasn't the main fight I wanted. I would have, put it this way. I would have rather see Brian Norman Jr. in Boots versus anyone he's fought with Eddie Hearn. You get me? That's what's wrong with boxing is like these people, they're trying to, for Turkey especially, Ring especially, Riyadh season especially, they're trying to force feed you something. They got the game screwy. Let's just be real. I'm not opposed, like I'm not angry at Devin Haney, Brian Norman, but I'd rather Tio and Devin Haney, Brian Norman and Jaron Ennis, or Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. But instead they got Boots fighting Lima Beans. Instead of giving us Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, they gave you Ryan and Rowley and Devin and Ramirez at a catchweight. Instead of rescheduling Floyd Schofield and Shakur, they're allegedly giving you Teofimo. So none of these fights are what people are really asking for. If you really think. You would rather see Boots versus Lima Beans or Boots versus Brian Norman at 47 before he left. So really, they're not giving you the fights that you want. I would have rather seen Crawford stay at 54 and fight any slew of the people that I've said at 54. From Murtazaev to Fundora. You got Benavidez, get Fundora over there. You know what I mean? Virgil Ortiz, Boots, any of these fights. I would have preferred, and I would have been super hyped. This Canelo fight don't hype me up. It does not hype me up at all, and I've explained why time and time again. Canelo is the bigger fighter. I mean, to be honest, it'll be embarrassing if he loses. Straight up. If you lose to a person with a 2-weight class jump, that's embarrassing. And that actually makes boxing look stupid, to be honest. It makes boxing look trash. It would be like Conor McGregor beating Floyd. That would make boxing look stupid. Like, damn, this dude can have 0 fights in boxing and beat a legendary fighter like Floyd. You see how these people they're saying is good for boxing and fight of the century, but none of this stuff is good. Even giving Crawford the option to beat a bigger star like Canelo is kind of a dumb play from a business perspective. It's dumb because okay, let's say Crawford sleeps. This is not my prediction. That's not what I believe. But let's say Crawford slept Canelo. One, that looks bad. Canelo would look stupid that you let this man come up and sleep you with all them weights. Two, what is Crawford going to do? Like, you just slept the guy with all the belts at 68. So what are you going to do? You going to fight Diego Pacheco now? You going to move up to 75, fight Better Beaver? You going to fight David Benavidez? Like, where does it end, Susan? Where does it end? That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is stupid, bro. You guys will see. You will see I'm the man in boxing. Everything I say has checked out. Because what are the real options? What are the options no matter what happens? If Canelo wins, that don't mean you can whoop Benavidez. You beat another welterweight, whoop-de-doo-doo. If Crawford wins, Canelo just looks stupid for losing to somebody who's smaller. And I highly doubt that Crawford now makes his name fighting the best at 68 and 75. So all this bulking up and stuff, it's just a waste of my time for real. However, Crawford could have an extraordinary run at 54 where he was already a champion fighting great competition like Boots, Virgil Ortiz, Murtazaev, Keith Thurman, Fundora winner. You see what I'm saying? But Turkey wanted his way, has the money and the resource to get his way, so he did what he wanted. You wanted to hook Crawford up. You guys will see. I can't wait for Saturday. I firmly believe this is going to be a disappointment. Canelo looked nervous. I'm not even listening to y'all. Some people said Bud looked nervous. You're saying Canelo. I didn't see no nerves on Canelo, bro. You just talking. There's nothing about him. What looked nervous? You just making up stuff. See, that's why I don't even like talking boxing with some people, because they already have in their mind what they want to believe. Like, Crawford was the one on the mic stuttering, but somehow, some way, he seen Canelo look nervous. But Bud Crawford literally was stuttering on the mic, talking about belt to BTB, and BTA. But Canelo was like kind of making jokes. He was like, fight, fight, fight. How is that nerves? Like, what person is nerve and their sense of humor is heightened, but they're nervous? But then the person stuttering and less talkative, you're not saying that about him. Ego, I saw Ryan last night. He a straight J-Cat, mentally unstable. What did he do? Why Ryan catch a straight? What was he talking about? He was on some weird stuff? We know he ain't going to fight the Mexican monster. Y'all tripping. Yeah, I'll be glad when this fight's over, because it's not doing it for me, bro. It really is not. I'm just trying to get through it. The way it's been promoted, I also, for me, and I've always said this, boxing needs like strategy. Boxing needs like a succession plan. I've always said that. A succession plan, meaning like you don't look at just your next move, you have to look at your next couple moves. Does that make sense? Like PBC, they'll put Tim Tszyu in a rematch with Fundora, and then they'll give a tune-up to Keith Thurman. And we knew if Keith Thurman won and Tim Tszyu won, then it would have been Keith versus Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu lost to Fundora, so now Keith fights Fundora. They're making Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz. Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz, right? Clearly, Tank's doing whatever with Jake Paul. Clearly, the winner of Roach and Pitbull could be in the runnings to fight Tank in the future. Ego, you look sad and nervous. Okay. First of all, I am not going to spend much time arguing with somebody named BJ Bobo. Bro, I know you've been locked up because that's a straight up prison name. I can't spend too much time on you, bro. Your name is BJ Bobo. You bobbing for BJs, bro. That sounds crazy. So yeah, you shouldn't even mention my name, bro. I'm your king. You should bow down to me. The man said BJ Bobo. Man sound like a gay clown. I'm BJ Bobo. Down here they all float. BJ Bobo. Man, what? You old hillbilly, BJ Bobo. Yes, me, BJ Bobo. Where you from? Mississippi? You from Tennessee? Where you from? BJ Bobo. Bro, don't even talk. Like, y'all not even, like, on my level to even be talking to me, bro. He said BJ Bobo still locked up. Oh, he snuck the contraband phone. I got you. Locked up or not, you look like a clown. Okay, Bobo. Whatever you say. Now I look like a clown after I just called you a clown, so you stole my shtick. But you just said I look sad and nervous. Now I look like a clown. Anything else? BJ Bobo. I'm from Chicago, clown. You still giving out BJ's, Bobo. Anyway. And the funny thing is, you got people like BJ Bobo. They say the dumbest things. Ego, you look sad and nervous. Why would I be sad? Why would I be nervous? I'm at the crib. The AC is on. I'm going to get paid fat for a fight that I don't like by sitting at home, talking on the microphone, doing a watch party. What is there to be sad at? I'm trying to understand that. When they hate, donate. We got to really make them mad. What would I be sad for? I'm literally at the crib. Like I don't get it. It's like crazy. Somebody said DJ Bozo. Ego, thank you for being with us live. Absolutely. I do it for y'all, not BJ Bobo. And it's funny because they be complaining, but they be in my chat. So what does that tell you? You paying me, bro. You paying me. You gonna pay my AT&T bill. I'm gonna put a bill on y'all. Every time y'all talk crazy, I'm gonna assign a bill to you. You AT&T this month. I'm about to pay my AT&T bill thanks to BJ Bobo. Because you paying me. Anybody else? So yeah, this promotion sucks. I think the fight will outweigh the YouTubers, the lead up press conference. Huh? The fight will be worth it. Its weight is entertainment at the end of the day. I don't know. We'll see. But I disagree with that, bro. Here, you know what? Here's why. Because the undercard stank. It smelled like booty. That's why. So the undercard is not good. So I don't really have much faith in the undercard at all. So at best, Canelo and Crawford can deliver. So when I think of a legendary event, right? It's not just the main event. You're thinking about the experience. So if the undercard is like mid is all ever, there's only so good that the event can even be. Unless you just don't watch any of it and then tune in for the main event maybe. But what boxing fan, wants to skip the whole intro and just come straight into the main event. He said the undercard sucked like DJ Bobo. He said the undercard is like DJ Bobo. It's crazy. That's what I'm talking about, bro. So yeah, it is. I don't think it's gonna. I'm gonna be disappointed. I have a feeling. And if there's any controversy or some horrible wonky scorecard or a draw or something stupid, then I'm really gonna feel validated and vindicated, and I was right. So y'all better listen. The pressure's not on me, bro. The pressure's on them because they're off to a rough start. Their pressure's on them to put up a classic when they've been off to a bad start. Okay, what can happen at the weigh-in tomorrow? I don't care about none of the undercard fights for real. So how can we have a classic weigh-in with Crawford and Canelo without it looking fake? Because they just shook hands at the press conference today on Thursday. So what, they going to be pushing each other, slapping each other tomorrow? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, they have it's done. It's already cooked. Here's an example. It's like watching a 2-hour movie and you're an hour and 45 minutes in and the movie is trash. There's only 15 minutes left in the movie. There, no matter what your payoff is, there's only but so much you can do to redeem an hour and 45 of torture. What could you possibly do in the last 15 minutes of the movie that redeems all of the first hour and 45 minutes from being trash? Please tell me. This has been uneventful the whole way. So magically, we watched this movie for an hour and 45 minutes, and magically, at the 11th hour, it's all of a sudden going to get legendary? Show me that. What do you think of Snake Dana White repealing the Ali Act? Y'all know what I think. I'm pro boxing. I'm a boxing head, so I'm always going to go against anything that hurts the fighters. That's why Dana didn't answer the question. If Reynoso smacked Bomac, but I would. Okay, so if Reynoso smacked Bomac, what? Why? Okay, he didn't do none of that for none of the press tour. They're not even talking trash. So why would that would just look fake, bro? They are cooked. They are trapped. If they start slapping and pushing each other, then it's gonna look like WWE. You sat with Piers Morgan. You ate dinner with Canelo. You grilled Canelo at the final press conference, and Mad Dog gave him the psycho eyes, the Mad Dog eyes, and then you shook his hand when he shook your hand. So what are you going to slap him tomorrow? How, like, what is he bipolar? Is this a bipolar disorder? Where you're shaking, like you're in your cut, you're in your weight cut. So you're angry. So you weren't angry on Thursday, but on Friday you're like, and slapping people, like it's gonna look fake. So it's either gonna be boring or it's gonna look very staged and theatrical, and they're gonna have to do something, throw a bottle at somebody or something. But all that to me is gonna look like WWE, because you just wasn't on that type of time, and then now within 24 hours, less than 24 hours by the time the weigh-in, probably, you know what I mean? Less than 24 hours, because it was a night final presser. The final presser was like 7 p.m. my time. So between 7 p.m. on a Thursday and I don't even know what time to weigh in, let's say noon Friday, you hate him. You're going to slap him. You guys have been professional the whole thing. No excitement. And then now all of a sudden you're just coming in, ooh, and you're about to fight tomorrow. So what would be the point of all that when it hasn't been no friction for the most part throughout the whole thing? Bro, they cooked. Just get this fight over with so I can get back to my regular scheduled programming. That's all I want. I heard Charlo and Spence are negotiating, but it wouldn't be till 2026. So we'll see how that play out. Anyway, I'm about to get something to eat. I'll holler at y'all. I'll be back to. He said the fight is trash. Y'all funny. That man said the fight is trash. I try to tell y'all, bro, it don't make sense. And here's the thing: is like, I feel like this how you know it's trash because no matter who wins, boxing don't really win. I don't like fights like that. Like, for example, tell me how boxing wins if the bigger man gets beat up by the smaller man and the bigger star. Explain that. Canelo generates more money. He has a bigger fan base. He's more entertaining. So I'll go both outcomes. Both outcomes. We'll do it one by one. If Canelo gets destroyed, which some of you guys are saying, Canelo gets destroyed. So that means the bigger star got whooped by a smaller person, and then the bigger star and the bigger fighter who has a bigger fan base and could put up bigger fights and is a little bit younger, 35. Then what? I mean, Canelo's cooked, right? Canelo's run is, bro, this would probably be like one of his worst losses because you're losing to someone smaller than you. So that's if Crawford were to win. Okay, but if Canelo wins, then what? You have all the belts still, and you still refuse to fight David Benavidez, who's now at 75. And who else could you fight at 68? Who else? Like Canelo versus who? Caleb Plant too? Armando Resendez? You're stablemates with Mugia, and you already beat him. Berlanga just got cooked. So it would be like Canelo versus Hamza Shiraz or something. Or Diego Pacheco. Or maybe Mbili. So it'd be back to Canelo versus like names that really aren't big fights right now. Because they don't have big brands as a B-side. Right? If Crawford won, then what? He gonna stay at 68? He gonna go to 75? What are you gonna do? He gonna fight Mbili, Crawford Mbili, like you know what I'm saying? He gonna retire. This fight is stupid, bro. I believe it. I try to give it a chance, but that's my opinion. I just don't like the variables, no matter what they are. If it's a draw, then I'm gonna be like, I wasted my time. Who wants to see a fight hyped up, such as this fight, on Netflix, and they're like fight of the century, and it ends in a draw? These people are cooked. Mark my words. No matter how this ends, it is going to be a disappointment for boxing. If this ends in a draw, are you going to be happy? Something that's advertised as a super fight, you'll be happy because a draw means that it's not really concluded. It's like half win, half loss. So if it ends in a draw, then we just sat up here, watched the whole movie. It'll be like 28 years later. 28 years later is part of a trilogy, so the movie just ends. Why are you hating on the fight? Crawford bringing it home for Black Americans. Man, please shut up. Crawford just said, thank you to all my Mexican fans, and they was booing him. And you talking about he bringing it home for the black. Get out of here. Now y'all trying to act like Crawford is Marcus Garvey. But the man literally just said, man, I hear y'all booing me. I hear you Mexican fans booing me. I see y'all booing me, but some of y'all supported me. Shout out to y'all. And they kept booing him. But then now he's Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey. He's doing it for Black America. Bro, he got Mexicans for Crawford shirts and merchandise. He watched them people, them Canelo Cinnabons, boo the out of him. and then was trying to be peacekeeper with the fans that were calling him names and booing him and putting their thumbs down. But then now he's Marcus Garvey. I got you. See, that's what happens. They try to come and out black you. You got people who try to out black you. Oh, he's doing it for black Americans. Bro, he just said thank you to the non-black Americans that was all pro Canelo that was like, boo, boo. Go watch the press conference. I ain't making nothing up. Bro, you got merchandise talking about Mexican colors and they booing you. And now you talking about, oh, he's doing it for all of niggerdom or whatever you talking about, bro. Shit, y'all got to miss me with that. They think they going to come in here out black me or something. And everything is in the press conference. Crawford cleared the air for those thinking he was out of shape, LOL. That's why y'all not boxers. Just hate. You ain't a boxer. Bro, the Bud Buddies got to be the dumbest fan base alive. The man just said, that's why y'all not boxers, but he not a boxer. Your name is No Shame. What type of boxer name is that? No Shame Jenkins. Bro, who? These people are, there's something wrong with y'all, bro. He said that's why y'all not boxers, but he ain't a boxer. If you a boxer, what's your name? I got my phone right now. Show me what's your box rec. I'll go to it right now. You a liar, bro. He about to prove the world wrong again. I don't care what he do. You prove me wrong once again. If you're a boxer, what's your name? I'm on box rec. I'm on your app. No Shame. What is your name? Bro, you got 30 seconds to give me your name. It's a wrap. I'm not playing with you. You said, and I quote, y'all said he was out of shape. LOL. That's why y'all not boxers. Okay, so prove you a boxer, bro. What is your name? Ego stay sad and forgetting about a draw. Your name is Diddy Lange. I don't have nothing to say to you, bro. You fresh out of Diddy party. Bro, this is who y'all send for me, bro. Bro, we got Diddy Lange and No Shame Jenkins. This is who y'all sending for me that you think can outsmart me, bro. And then the other dude won't tell me his box rec name, so we know he's not a boxer, but he tried to shame us for not being boxers. And then this other dude got out the Diddy party and came in here trying to flame me up. Come on, bro. Give me some better work, bro. This can't be real life. And they doing this all for Bud. Do you have no shame when he get beat up? hey, Saturday gonna be cracking. It's Saturday for to be cracking, bro. Y'all better hope Bud do all this mythical stuff y'all talking about. Y'all better hope and pray, bro. I need to see a first round knockout from Bud. If you don't knock him out in the first round, I'm not trusting y'all. I'm clowning all y'all. Just because that's what y'all was saying. I can't wait for Saturday, bro. I can't wait. Come to the Boxingego watch party. We having a party. And here's what I noticed about the Bud Buddies. They don't really say anything. They'll say their opinion, but it's not like a breakdown. Like Tim Bradley's like, Bud's gonna stop, knock out Canelo. No, like, keys to victory. No, like, explanation. He's just spitting at the camera, yelling how Bud Crawford is gonna stop Canelo. Like, it's low key kind of sad, bro.
When this man get the the knockout, because he going to knock out Canelo Alvarez. When he get the knockout, don't forget Miss Deborah. Get that shimmy dance. Get that dance from Miss Deborah. Get the camera, get the family on camera, yo, so we can document this, because it's going to be one of the greatest performances you've ever witnessed in the sport of boxing by Terence Bud Crawford. Knocking out somebody that's been in the ring with some of the heaviest punches in the game. Heaviest punches. Triple G is legendary. Didn't put a dent in Canelo. Now just watch what Crawford does to his behind. Yeah, y'all talking about thudding power from Canelo? What about sharp power and timing like a Manny Pacquiao has? Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about that. It's a huge difference. That sharp power where it sting you for a minute momentarily, and that follow-up shot comes sweeping and knock your behind out. That's Bud Crawford. And you know he can turn it on when he Netflix, listen up. When he,
Bro, are y'all going to start holding people accountable? That's all I want to know. Like, there'll be YouTubers and they'll do 10 predictions and get 9 of them wrong. Like, when do you abandon the channel? At what point? They got to get 100 wrong in a row? Like, what type of boxing fans are y'all where you got so much time in the day, you know someone's giving you bad intel and don't know what they're talking about, and then they continue to do it. And you care what they have to say? I don't know. I guess I don't have enough time in the world to be doing all that, bro. I'm not, like, if you said Crawford can win, that's cool. But, like, doing all that yelling and, like, oh, he gonna knock him out, Triple G and blah, blah, blah. And then here's the other thing, bro. If we're adding context to it, Triple G fought in 2017 or whatever. That's almost 10 years ago, bro. It's 2025, about to be 2026. So people want to talk boxing, but they don't want to provide context. Triple G fought Canelo 3 times, bro. That's wear and tear. That's wear and tear, bro. Like, I feel like people are so desperate to, like, kind of root for the underdog and, like, possibly see Crawford, like, accoladed up to the point where they're not providing the context, bro. Like, Canelo knocked out Carlos Baldomir. Floyd didn't knock him out like that, right? Zab Judah didn't knock him out. But the difference is context. Floyd fought a younger champion Baldomir. Canelo fought a 40-year-old Baldomir and knocked him out. And he was a PDF file. We're talking about different things, bro. That's another reason why this fight's not as legendary as y'all talking about. Canelo has seen better days. Crawford has seen better days. We never seen Crawford at this weight. You know what I mean? So everybody, I feel like there's a lot of people and they don't really know what's going to happen in the fight. So they're just saying whatever. Because, like, for example, Roy Jones. I don't quote me on, because I haven't watched every interview from him. But the one I seen, he said he's leaning towards Crawford. Right? He's leaning towards Crawford, but Canelo ... And that's what I see a lot from boxing fans. Broner put out an interview and he said he's picking Bud if he could take Canelo's power, though. Like, bro, we could do that with anything then. Like, what are we talking about? So that's like, you could say, I'll whoop Deontay Wilder if I could take his power. Like, do you understand what I'm talking about when we're talking about boxing? We're talking about boxing talk and analysis. You could say you could beat Deontay Wilder, but only if you could take his power. But that's a big if. You're fighting Prime Wilder if you could take his power. I mean, you could say that with anything. I could walk in the rain and not get wet if I had my umbrella, but you don't. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why a lot of these predictions, especially from the Bud Buddies, have been terrible because it sounds more like, to me, wishful thinking. They're not doing a great job of articulating why they think this will happen. Like, even people with the switch hitting, bro, do y'all really watch boxing? Bud is pretty much a southpaw, but he can switch when he needs to. He's not as good orthodox, in my opinion. Tell Bud, okay, put it, if I'm wrong, tell Bud to fight Canelo the whole fight orthodox. We'll see. Bud likes a challenge. That I know his team watches my channel, so that's my challenge. Do all this stuff you say with Canelo from an orthodox stance. People keep like, for sure, if this was like a 2K game, you would want the ability to switch stances. That's a cool attribute. But it's still boxing. You can't overly use that at the elite level because you could get caught in transition. It happened to Danny Jacobs. I was there in New York. Danny Jacobs tried to switch stances and Triple G caught him, and that's when go watch it. Danny Jacobs got dropped. So, Bud, I wouldn't be surprised if he just come out like he did with Errol Spence, straight up southpaw. That's my best stance. That's what gives guys the most problems. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But my challenge is come out as an orthodox fighter and fight the whole fight like that. If you think Bud is better ortho than he is a southpaw. You're like, Bud could do anything. Okay, fight Canelo as a righty. I don't know. I don't like the fight, bro. I don't have good vibes about this at all. At all. And then you got Bud fans talking about Errol Spence. What does Errol have to do with the next man, bro? Like, honestly. Like, it's stupid. That's like if you talk about what LeBron James could do, and you're like, oh, but Muggsy Bogues, okay, that's a whole different player. What is Muggsy Bogues or Chris Paul? What that got to do with LeBron or Kobe? They're different people. You act like Errol is just like an interchangeable like face card. You just whoop, and now it's Canelo. Like, I'm not even understanding the breakdowns I'm hearing. Straight up, Canelo didn't get in a car accident. Canelo didn't have a detached retina that I'm aware of. Canelo don't fight like Errol. So it's like I don't even understand what people are talking about. I'll make a statement like, "Oh, it's an uphill battle." Oh, but Errol, you said that with Errol. What does Errol have to do with anything? Why does Turkey want Bud to fight toe to toe with Canelo? I don't know. You have to ask him. I don't know. I think Turkey. To be honest, Turkey seems a bit narcissistic to me. So I think Turkey, he don't like Turkey all in the video. So he probably be on Reddit and on Twitter and seeing what people are saying. So when people are like, Fatal Fury sucked, Canelo Skull sucked, he's reading all that comments, and his ego, no pun intended, but his pride and ego don't like that. So that's when he started doing, like, bro, just look at the timeline. He wasn't on that Tom and Jerry stuff until he started having events with the career low output and people started flaming him. When he did the Fatal Fury and then the next day Canelo had a stinker with Skull, then he started coming up with the Tom and Jerry all action. He said, I want to see brains and cuts and bruises and da-da-da-da. I want what I'm paying for, basically. That's when it happened because he was getting cooked in the comment section. People were like, these fights was trash. And he couldn't, you know what I mean? His ego couldn't take that. So now he like demanding the fighters fight toe to toe. Bro, whatever. Tell Bud to fight toe to toe. Enjoy. Let's be honest, Errol Spence was nowhere near 100% in the Bud fight. And then the Bud buddies get mad if you say that. And they'll be like, you're hating. Whatever. So, yeah, I'll be glad when this fight's over. I am not, this has not been a fun one. You got people with like these silly predictions, not really breaking nothing down. It's just been weird. It's been a weird build up. No, it was not. It was about not being 100. Bro, the bottom line is even if it's a skill issue, Errol has never looked like that bad, bro. He looked like something was wrong with it. Like why do Bud Buddies why do y'all hate to admit the obvious elephant in the room, bro? Like when I say it, they said I'm hating. But then Abel Sanchez and Tank and a whole bunch of fighters said, I don't know, something was up with Errol. But I'm the hater. But everyone else noticed it too. But I'm the hater for it, bro. Something was up with it. I don't know if he had a punctured lung. I don't know what was. I'm not gonna just throw out a bunch of stuff because it wasn't my training camp. I don't know, but he definitely looked off. Anyway, I'm about to get something to eat. I'll holler at y'all. I'll tap in with y'all to the weigh-ins.